We're back on Fight News Now, and coming up next, we're going to take a look back at the Prestige FC2 card, which went down live here on Fight Network Saturday night from Regina, Saskatchewan, and featured a great main event involving featherweights Nick Rhoads and Kurt Southern.
From the Orr Center in Regina, Saskatchewan, and airing live here on Fight Network, Prestige Fight Club held their second event Saturday, featuring 2 title fights. In the main event, Canada's top featherweight Kurt Southern took on Nick "NyQuil" Rhoads. Now training with Dwayne Ludwig, Southern showed some high-level striking technique, emulating former champ TJ Dillashaw. However, Southern was rocked by Rhoads with a hard left hook midway through the round, wobbled Southern, jumped for a guillotine, but was ultimately unsuccessful. Appearing to have a possible broken orbital bone, Southern was rocked once again by the left hand of Rhoads, but he somehow survived, pushing forward and looking for the knockout. After an absolutely crazy first round, we went to the second where Southern was very successful with the takedown and nearly cinched up a rear naked choke. However, momentum shifted back Rhoads' way in the third, attacking Southern with a Darce choke. Here's Fight Network's own John Ramdeen and Robin Black with the call.
And Southern is unconscious. Nick Rhoads is the new Prestige featherweight champion.
The heart of Kurt Southern, man, the heart of Kurt Southern. This guy came in here and took this. Nick Rhoads is a demon. The way this guy fights, unbelievable. You don't know whether Kurt just got the blood cut off to his mind or stopped breathing, or it's just the trauma. He pushed through so much. He locks it up, his right leg will go over and try to move his own lower body towards Kurt. And you see Kurt's fighting it, and he goes to tap, he's out. He's out.
Living up to his nickname of NyQuil, Nick Rhoads puts his opponent to sleep, improving to 9-3 and becoming the new Prestige FC featherweight champion. In the night's co-feature, the women's 145-pound title was on the line as Hard Knocks and Invicta veteran Charmaine Tweet took on the Widowmaker, Jessie Mealy. Having fought the likes of Ronda Rousey, Charmaine Tweet came in with experience on her side, beating up Mealy on the feet and attacking from her back with submission attempts. In the championship rounds, Tweet looked to take advantage of the tiring Mealy, opening up her striking and brutalizing Mealy on the mat with ground and pound. After 5, we went to the judges' scorecards, declaring the winner and new Prestige FC Women's Featherweight Champion, Charmaine Tweet. Keith "Banana" Smetana took on Saskatchewan native Devin Smith. In a battle of southpaws, it was Smetana looking for the early takedown, falling into mount. From there, Banana Smetana took the back of Smith, looking for the rear naked choke.
The tap is there, the rear naked choke, victory, and a hush goes over the audience.
Hey man, Banana Smetana, he wasn't messing around out here. There's one, he caught one on the way in and he landed on as he pushed forward. Put a lot of traffic in the way there. Low back pressure and the trip, super modern takedown. Clearly Smetana is the higher evolved of the two. That shouldn't be a surprise. So much experience, digs under the neck. Gets it done.
With the win, Keith Smetana improves to 10-6. One of Montreal's top prospects and brother of TriStar coach Firas Zahabi, Eamon Zahabi, took on Winnipeg's Kyle Oliveira. Unfortunately for Kyle Oliveira, he would badly injure his knee in the first round. Here's Robin Black breaking it down.
So you saw the knee give out, and it's just as he stepped back and he planted himself on it, he will have blown out a ligament. Soft tissue damage is brutal. We've seen it before. You step back, you put your weight on it, and it traumatizes the ankle or the knee. Classy fighter, that Eamon Zahabi, man. He took that position and was readied, and he looked at the referee.
With that, Eamon Zahabi is declared the winner by TKO. In the bantamweight division, Regina's own Sean Quinn took on Chris Day. This one didn't take long, with Quinn taking the back of Day in the first round, setting up the rear naked choke.
You use those strikes to get under the chin. If he flattens, his other choice will be to flatten him. And there it is. The choke is in.
Looking for the finish, and he gets it. The referee steps in, and the crowd here at the Orr Center is going bonkers.
In his first fights in 2013, Sean Quinn returns with a stellar rear naked choke victory. A veteran of King of the Cage, Winnipeg's Mariusz Szuskiewicz took on mighty Micah Brakefield. Having not fought professionally since 2013, Szuskiewicz was surprised by the crafty Brakefield, who pulled guard and attacked with an armbar. Following that, the two battled it out on the ground, exchanging heel hooks. Breakfield's jiu-jitsu was on display throughout the fight, but Shushkevich kept it close with a very hard head kick. In the second, Breakfield kept up the jiu-jitsu attack, chaining together multiple submissions and keeping the iron pole guessing. However, in a very surprising turn of events, Breakfield could no longer continue to the fight, possibly due to exhaustion, and with that, Mariusz Shushkevich was declared your winner by TKO. Opening up the card, Calgary's Nick Campbell took on Cold Lake, Alberta's Dan Amiot. Campbell rocked Bulletproof with a nasty kick to the body in the opening minute of the fight, and wouldn't be long before Squatch would get the finish.
Shot to the body now. The cross is landing.
And that knee to the body, great choices. He is in trouble.
Jaron Vallel taking a close look, but Amiot trying to slug his way out of this bad spot. You see blood now on the top of the head of Amiot.
Another knee to the body and now to the head. He's in a lot of trouble. He may be bulletproof, but not to the body.
And that will be it. Amiot goes down as Nick Campbell gets the first round TKO victory. And the crowd here in Regina is thrilled.
Snapping up a 2-fight losing skid, Nick Campbell gets the 8th win of his career.
And we are back with the most prestigious announce team in mixed martial arts. John Ramdine and Robin Black, fresh off a trip to Regina, Saskatchewan, where you guys called the Prestige FC2 card. And first of all, before we get into the fights, because there were some great highlights to discuss, I think just refreshing that you're getting a forum now for Canadian fighters to get fights, because that is a continual complaint we hear from fighters that just they don't have the opportunity to go fight. They have to travel elsewhere. It's very, very difficult. So just to see a promotion that is trying to run consistently in Canada, I think that's a big plus.
I agree 100%. And what's interesting about it, because there was a time people were saying, oh, Canada is the mixed martial arts mecca of the world. And then MMA got legalized in Ontario, and then for some reason it was deflated. That's all we were wrong about this. You just have to look at the talent, the prospects that were on this prestige card, most of them coming from Canada, and the future is very, very bright. There's serious talent here in Canada, especially in the 125, 135-pound division. It's one you need to keep your eyes on. Guys like Eamon Zahabi, guys like Kyle Oliveira and Brad Katona. There are so many talented fighters in Canada, and it's great that they have a place in Canada to be able to compete and showcase their abilities. And we're very fortunate to be able to show it here on the channel.
Yeah, and it was a great show. That main event, man, Kurt Southern is one of the best fighters in the country. He long has been. He's a very explosive wrestler, really ornery on the ground, really able to catch guys and beat them up on top. And he's become this really exciting striker working with Dwayne Ludwig. And he came in on Nick Rhoads, man, and Nick Rhoads stood his ground and kind of intercepted him coming in. It was so tough to track Southern down as he was coming in, landed head kicks.
Holy cow.
He was moving like, he's growing towards a TJ Dillashaw style. Makes sense coming from Dwayne. But wow, did he move beautifully. And Nick Rhoads toughed it out, got some gloves on him, really hurt him before catching him in that darts.
That first round, believe me, I think that come the end of the year, that's going to be one of the better rounds of the year. Yeah. That was an outstanding first 5 minutes involving those two, and made it a very close round. I mean, Southern was looking great, striking, but Rhoads came back solid by the end of that round, and then submitting Kurt Southern in the third round. This was just, I thought, an outstanding featherweight main event involving these two.
Especially when you look at Kurt Southern was able to survive into that third round because he was hurt. Nick Rhoads sensed that he was hurt, and he just kept going after this guy. So the crowd at the Orr Center, they loved all the action. It was unfortunate because it's basically you have the hometown fighter in Southern, and it was a disappointing end to him. But man, it just proves that this sport at even the grassroots level is tough as hell.
Yeah, and you mentioned 125 and 135, and in Canada, that's where the real talent is right now. There's talented guys in every division, but there, and we saw Eamon, and he was against Kyle Oliveira, who's a great 135er. He'll be a solid 125er when he cuts down, just based on height. He got injured in the fight. We didn't see it come out, but Brad Katona, and that wasn't even on the main card, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Brad Matt Katona, if you can look it up, find it online somewhere. This kid is really special. He only moves to 3-0 because it's hard finding fights. But when there's 6 or 8 or 10 guys just in Canada that are that good, they gotta fight each other. You know, they're all like, well, we'll meet in the UFC. They're not signing 10 of you. They're not signing you. You have to fight each other. And Katona will fight tough guys. Josh Rich from Chatham,
Holy
Ontario.
smokes.
One of my favorite guys to watch. He is in every fight till the end, and he'll come back and win it in the 3rd round. That kind of unique heart and just unbreakability, that's beautiful to see. And sometimes you'll see it at these grassroots level where guys might be making $1,000 or $500 or $1,500, and they may not be on a track even to get to the UFC. You get to see that in them. That's what we go and pay our money to fight.
It was a really tough scene to watch with Eamon Zahabi. He was victorious over Kyle Oliveira. You guys got to talk with him after. I mean, how bad was the injury? Because you really got the sense that it was a significant one, the way he was in pain in the cage.
Yeah, Oliveira couldn't even get up. But once you realized there was something wrong, he was in agony. He was screaming. He needed help getting up. We didn't know if he was going to be able to walk out of the cage. He couldn't on his own. But later on, the doctor was feeling around. Doctor said you just have to go get an MRI. They didn't think that there was going to be extensive damage, but they were unsure. But he managed to be able to put weight on it, and he was able to walk out of the venue on his own. So that's something.
But so many good prospects at that weight in Canada, and it was really cool to see Kyle go fight Eamon, who at 5-0, everybody's talking about his brother Faraz.
Yeah.
We know who that is, and to see Kyle Oliveira just really say, no, I want this guy. Those are the guys that are going to get somewhere, the guys who will take these fights. You just have to do the math. Yes, you can bring them along. Sean Shelby's already been calling for Ross, trying to get Eamon in there. But you've got to develop these guys. And him facing off against Kyle, even though it was cut short, those are the steps you need to take.
Charmaine Tweed also victorious on Saturday night, and I'm sure we will be replaying that card. You can tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be looking ahead to this Saturday's card as the UFC is in Brisbane, Australia. It will feature Neil Magny taking on Hector Lombard, and the main event features former heavyweight champion Frank Mir taking on Mark Hunt.